Fear does not always roar. Sometimes it arrives as silence in the night, a tightening in the chest, or 1,000 thoughts that will not rest. Anxiety is the body's cry for safety, but the soul seeks something deeper: peace. Buddhist wisdom teaches that fear is not our enemy, it's our teacher. What we resist persists, but what we hold with compassion begins to soften. There is a stillness beyond fear and a freedom on the other side of worry. Let's walk there gently together. If this path speaks to you, like this video, share your reflections below, and subscribe for more healing wisdom. Fear is not weakness, it's instinct. But when left unexamined, it becomes a prison with invisible bars. Buddhism doesn't tell us to destroy fear. It asks us to sit beside it, breathe with it, understand it. The Buddha taught that all suffering arises from ignorance, and fear is no different. When we see it clearly, it begins to lose its grip. There's a tale of a monk traveling through the forest at dusk. He saw a coiled snake on the path and froze with panic. But when dawn arrived, he looked again and saw only a rope. The fear had been real, but the threat, an illusion. How often do our minds mistake ropes for snakes? We can begin by simply noticing our fears, writing them down, naming them aloud. In awareness, fear begins to loosen, not because we force it away, but because we've stopped running. What rope have you mistaken for a snake today? Share below and let's begin seeing clearly together. When the world spins and the mind shouts, the breath remains. Quiet, loyal, steady. In Buddhist meditation, the breath is not just air. It's a doorway. Each inhale invites us back. Each exhale releases what we no longer need. The Buddha once taught a student overwhelmed by anxiety to do nothing but breathe, gently, consciously. In time, the student said, "The breath became my friend. It stayed when my thoughts left me." You don't need a temple, just one quiet moment wherever you are. Feel the air enter, feel it leave. Let that rhythm become your anchor in stormy waters. Try it now. One full breath. There, that was presence. That was peace. When anxiety grips you again, will you return to this breath? Let us know how it feels. Even one breath can change the whole day. An anxious mind is like a wild horse, fast, restless, impossible to control. But the Buddha didn't teach us to fight the horse. He taught us to ride it with kindness through mindfulness. Mindfulness, or sati, is the art of paying attention without judgment, without trying to fix. Just witnessing the mind's dance, watching thoughts rise and fall like waves on the ocean. A young novice once asked his teacher, "Why do my thoughts run like a stampede?" The teacher smiled and said, "They run because you chase them. Sit still and they'll tire on their own." Try this. When anxiety floods in, say softly, "This is a thought, this is a feeling, and it will pass." Anchor yourself in the now, in the texture of your shirt, the weight of your body, the breath. The storm cannot last forever, but your presence, that is eternal. What helped you stay present today? Your comment might help someone else find calm. When we're anxious, we often judge ourselves. Why can't I be stronger? Why am I like this? But Buddhist wisdom teaches, the heart cannot heal in harshness, only in love. Metta, or loving kindness, is the practice of sending warmth to others, yes, but first to ourselves, especially the parts we dislike, the scared parts, the trembling child within. There's a story of a teacher who told her students to repeat, "May I be safe, may I be peaceful, may I live with ease." One student wept, "I've never spoken to myself that way before." You can do this too. In a quiet moment, place a hand on your chest. Say those words out loud or inside. Feel how strange and healing it is to be kind to yourself. What phrase brings you comfort when fear visits? Share it below. You might offer someone else a little light in the dark. Fear clings to the illusion of permanence. What if it's always like this? But the core of Buddhist wisdom is anicca, everything changes. Always. The Buddha taught, all conditioned things are impermanent. When one sees this with wisdom, one turns away from suffering. A woman once grieved for her son and went to the Buddha. He asked her to find a mustard seed from a home untouched by death. She returned empty-handed, but wiser. She understood pain visits everyone, and it passes. Your anxiety too is not forever. It's a cloud, not the sky. A moment, not your identity. Try whispering, "This too shall pass," and then wait. Watch how even fear grows tired when you no longer feed it. What are you learning to let go of? Let's share without shame. We are all passing clouds, and the sky still holds us. Fear intensifies when we judge it. When we say, "I shouldn't feel this way," or "What's wrong with me?" But the Buddhist path invites us to observe, not attack, to witness without needing to fix. Vipassana, or insight meditation, is rooted in simply noticing breath, body, thought, emotion, like watching clouds drift across the sky. No chasing, no pushing away. A wandering monk once came to the Buddha and said, "I am haunted by fear." The Buddha replied, "Then sit with it. Watch it like a shadow. Do not speak. Do not flinch." Days passed. The monk did nothing but observe, and slowly fear dissolved, not by force, but by familiarity. Can you sit with your fear today? Not to escape it, but to know it? Try this. Set a timer for 5 minutes. Sit, breathe, watch. Just 5 minutes of peace in the middle of the noise. What did you notice? Let your experience help someone else find stillness. Share below. Anxiety often arises from misunderstanding, from distorted beliefs about the future or our worth. In Buddhism, the first step of the Eightfold Path is right view, seeing things as they are, not as fear paints them. Right view teaches us to ask, is this thought true, or is it just familiar? There's an old story of a man who found a cracked mirror. Each day he looked into it and believed he was broken. Only when the mirror shattered completely did he finally see his real reflection. Untouched, whole. Fear is like that mirror. It distorts, it lies, but it's not the truth. Take one anxious thought today. Write it down. Then question it. Is it fact or fear? If you've ever seen clearly after a stormy thought, share that clarity with someone below. Panic can feel like drowning, fast, consuming, hopeless. But even in panic, there's room for compassion. The Buddha once saw a student hyperventilating during meditation. Instead of correcting him, he placed a hand on the student's back and whispered, "Let the body breathe itself. You are safe. You are held." That is compassion, Karu. Not rushing to fix, but staying present. A soft voice in a loud storm. When your heart races and the world feels too much, try placing a hand on your chest and saying, "I see you, fear, and I will not abandon you." We are allowed to be both frightened and kind. Have you offered yourself compassion today? Your gentleness might be someone else's starting point. Tell us your practice below. What if I fail? What if I lose everything? What if something goes wrong? Fear feeds on these endless what-ifs. But Buddhist wisdom teaches the art of detachment, upekkha, equanimity, a quiet heart that neither clings nor resists. A lay follower once asked the Buddha, "How do I stop the flood of fear?" He replied, "By not wading into it." What if you didn't answer every anxious thought? What if you let them knock and walk away? Try this each time a what if arises today. Respond with maybe, maybe not. I am here now. That single sentence can calm an entire storm. What's your what if that keeps returning? Let's talk about it and gently let it go. Fear thrives in chaos. It softens in structure. A daily practice, no matter how small, becomes a shelter in the storm. The Buddha and his monks rose before dawn. They meditated, reflected, chanted, not to escape fear, but to meet it with rhythm and clarity. You don't need hours, just a few minutes each morning. Light a candle. Sit in stillness. Say one phrase, "Today, I will return to peace." Build that habit, and it will hold you when anxiety strikes. Like bamboo in the wind, flexible but rooted. What's one practice you can begin tomorrow? Let's build our shelter one mindful brick at a time. Comment your intention below. Wonderful. Let's now complete chapters 11 to 15 for Buddhist practices for overcoming fear and anxiety. These final chapters gently guide the viewer into inner transformation, from fear toward lasting peace. When fear rises, our breath often disappears. It becomes shallow, hidden, almost forgotten. But the Buddha taught, the breath is always with you, your first friend, your last companion, your anchor in stormy seas. An anxious layperson once asked, "What should I do when fear knocks?" The Buddha replied, "Breathe, but this time truly notice it. Let it carry you back to now. No elaborate ritual. Just anapanasati, mindfulness of breath. Try it now. Inhale slowly. Count to 4. Exhale even slower. Count to 6. Do this 5 times. That's all. Just 5. Notice the shift. Your breath doesn't erase the fear, but it makes space for your peace to return. Will you return to your breath today? Leave a gentle yes in the comments below for yourself and for someone else who needs it. So much of anxiety comes from trying to control what was never ours to hold. The future, other people, outcomes, time, death. But Buddhism invites us to loosen our grip, to see control for what it is, a story spun by fear. There's a parable of a man hanging off a cliff, gripping a root. Below him, jagged rocks. Above him, wild animals. Then he sees a single ripe strawberry near the root. He picks it and smiles. He could not change his fate, but he chose joy anyway. Life will slip beyond our grasp again and again. But peace begins when we finally say, I don't need to hold it all. What is one thing you can let go of today? Comment below and let that be your first breath of freedom. Nothing stays. No fear. No moment. No wound. This is not a punishment. This is the very essence of Buddhist wisdom, anicca, impermanence. We fear loss because we forget that everything is meant to pass. The Buddha once held a lotus in silence. His disciple Mahakassapa simply smiled. He understood beauty is in the fleeting, not the forever. That includes fear. Too will pass. Anxiety is a visitor, not a resident. The next time you feel panic swell inside you, whisper this. This too is temporary, like clouds, like storms, like pain. How would your life change if you truly trusted that? Let's reflect together in the comments. Your insight might ease someone else's storm. Fear isolates, tells you you're alone, that no one understands, that no one else is trembling. But Buddhism teaches Sangha, the spiritual community, as one of the three jewels, because healing multiplies when it's shared. There's a story of a grieving mother who came to the Buddha carrying her lifeless child. I need medicine, she cried. He told her to find a mustard seed from a home untouched by death. She returned empty-handed but awakened. Pain is universal, but so is support. You are not alone in your fear. Look around. Here, even now, we're breathing with you. Drop a heart emoji below if this space feels safe. We build peace together. So what happens when you stop running from fear? Not that it vanishes, but it no longer controls you. You walk with it, sometimes quietly, sometimes trembling, but always forward. The awakened ones aren't fearless. They're simply rooted in breath, in truth, in the understanding that fear too belongs but doesn't lead. There's a final story of the Buddha walking through a village plagued by illness and terror. People begged him to leave, fearing death. He stayed, tended the sick, meditated through the night. When asked why, he said, "When fear arrives, I offer it tea. You can live that way, softly, clearly, present, not untouched by fear, but no longer defined by it." What would your life look like if fear sat beside you, not ahead of you? Let that question linger. And if this journey moves something in you, share your thoughts below and subscribe to walk this path together. Fear is not the enemy. It is the whisper of a body that wants to survive. But anxiety doesn't have to rule your life. With Buddhist wisdom as your compass, gentle breath, honest reflection, shared stillness, you can live rooted, not rattled. You have walked with me through 15 quiet steps toward peace. Now pause, breathe, let silence be your teacher. If this video brought calm to your mind or clarity to your heart, leave a comment and subscribe. Your presence here matters.